So hello there, English speakers. If you're English speaker, you know that this is called an elk, a European elk. They look exactly like a moose, but here they are called European elk and not a moose. It's more impressive when it's actually dark, but it will get some smaller elklings or whatever you call them. That will arrive in a few days and cost a fortune for us taxpayers here in Ljusdal. In Linköping they have plenty of these kinds of animals everywhere, but this is the only one here in Ljusdal, the winter decorations. So hello there, English speakers. If you're English speaker, you know that this is called an elk, a European elk. They look exactly like a moose, but hello there, English speakers, and you might think that you are in Switzerland now, but you're in Sweden, despite that it's a Swiss stone pine. And you might think that you are in the Rocky Mountains, because this is a blue spruce, but it's planted here in Ljusdal, close to Koppargården. The copper, you can say copper farm or copper ranch, but this is a typical Scandinavian red house with Falu rödfärg. The color is called that, and it's made out of copper, or what you get when you are making copper. But today we'll talk about stuff. But let's start by taking a big deep breath. Yeah, it smells both like Rocky Mountains and the Swiss Alps. So first of all, I got really surprised, and I think that Candace Owens and Erika got really surprised too. So Candace Owens did have a productive meeting with Erika for 4.5 hours. So my predictions were bullshit. Totally wrong. I have to reassess everything I thought I suspected about Erika, or not everything, but we'll see what Candace Owens will say tonight. That will be extremely exciting. Maybe not important, but well, if you are stuck to that story, you are stuck to it. So they had some disagreement about people and some points, but otherwise they got a lot of intel from each other, apparently, according to Candace Owens. So it's time to reconcile the Geloftedag, the Geloftedag, as you can pronounce it in Swedish. It's the day where the South Africans are remembering the Battle of Blood River in 1838, where they did survive. So these Boers, called four-trekkers, so they were like settlers on the forefront. They were 470 of them, with their ox wagons and horses and rifles and cannon. They were facing some treacherous Zulus that have betrayed them, and there were 60,000 Zulus attacking those 470 four-trackers, and 3 of the four-trackers got injured, and some 3,000 of the Zulus were dead. They were piling up in big mountains. So that was a pretty successful fight. I've linked to some videos and information about it. They were preparing their defense with the wagons, as depicted many times, and using them sort of a fortress. But it was not a fortress battle. So when the Zulus attacked and realized that they had to do another form of attack and sort of retreated, they got hunted down with cavalry, rifles, and, well, get chopped to pieces. Managed to injure only 3 of the four-trackers, and thousands of the Zulus died. So that was changed a lot, that kind of battle. But there was also a battle in 18 1999 at Magersfontein, and that was the Boers against the Brits that got beaten that time, and they did it together with a lot of Scandinavians apparently. So I've linked another article there from Jonas Nilsson about Orania, which is the Boer settlement in the outback of South Africa. So interesting day. So it's the Geloftedag today, the 16th of December. I keep on reminding people, so maybe I should remind you too, that Israel's government is neo-Bolshevik. They do implement Hafrada, and they don't use their evil propaganda is called Hasbara, and they do PR. That's a Jewish expression. Don't say anything else. He did write the same book, the book with the name Propaganda also, but that was in 1928, I think. And don't call them racist. They are Jewish supremacists, if they are that. And always use the word Judeophobia, because only Zionists can be anti-Semitic. So Max Blumenthal, that we, or I should say, I will not criticize him except for he does a good job. But he is protecting the Zionists by using their words, talking, not using my language, which is of course much better. And he, although he correctly states that the Zionists, they have now used all attacks against Jews to attack Zoran Mamdani and Palestinians, because that makes no sense whatsoever. And he points out that the attackers in Bondi, they were ISIS sympathizers, which means they are tied to Israel indirectly. And he also correctly points out that Zionism is built on anti-Semitism, he call it. I call it Judeophobia. Jill Stein, so she is the Green Party leader. I think she is totally fake opposition. She is a Jew. She is a globalist and an anti-humanist, climate liar, etc. And she realized the problem, just like Max, that the Jews are not safe until Palestinians are safe. But then she goes on, unite for peace. That's retarded, and that's why she's selected as the fake opposition. You do not unite with terrorists that murder children. So that has to be removed. Someone who did get removed is the Jewess Mikkel Berkon, I think. She was mourning at Bondi. She lost her friends, but she was wearing a keffeye, this Palestinian cloth, and that upset people because they want to use their human sacrifice to promote Israeli criminals, and then you can't wear whatever you want when you're mourning. So that describes their horrible behavior. I've linked to some videos here. The first from James Lee that reminds us about all the false flags against Jews in Australia. They have been convicted about a lot of things. And if you want to get caught up with all the psyops, the biggest one, Range Day Brew, have gone through them. You don't need to really watch that right now unless you have, well, if you are bored, because things are changing. But if you want to say something about it, then you better get reminded a little bit. Ricky Hole wrote a Substack here, and about the Bondi Beach shootings. And also there are some fake news here. This Ahmed al-Ahmed, that was the Syrian who attacked and took the weapon from one of the shooters. Ahmed al-Ahmed, he came from 2006 from Syria. He is not a Maronite Christian, he is a Muslim. That is totally confirmed, and they just try to muddy the water saying that he was a Maronite Christian because it doesn't fit their narrative that he was a Muslim protecting the Jews. They do not want that because they are evil pieces of garbage, toxic garbage, like actor Arsen Ostovsky. So that was the crisis actor that were acting wounded. Maybe he was wounded, who cares? I don't. But he was making makeup, and you can read up a little bit about who he was on my Substack. He is working with promoting what he calls antisepticism, and that's what he's doing. He is making the Jews more hated. That's what his job is, and to suppress everyone who are against Jewish supremacy. He is the CEO of the International Legal Forum, and he basically do lawfare against innocent goyim. Rob Reiner's son is now in custody because of murdering his father, we suspect. So that was not fake news. Laura Logan, she says that Israel is a steadfast ally of USA. Goodbye. We don't need to trust you anymore. That's total bullshit. You remember USS Liberty? That was a nice ally, wasn't it? Murdering Americans. Epstein, yeah, that was Israel. And all the spies that have been caught or not caught and fled to Israel after destroying USA, the dancing Israelis, plus 400 or 200 other spies that also got deported after 9/11, not related to 9/11, but they were found out due to, well, the situation. And have you heard about the Numek affair? Maybe you have heard about the Apollo affair. So that was the Israelis stealing 93 kilos of uranium from Pittsburgh. So remove people like Lara Logan. Lara Logan is already a joke, basically. She's only useful for predicting the next terror attack because, well, she's telling everyone when they are about to happen, just like these ones. But maybe Lara Logan can get better when she, just like Charlie Kirk, when he realized eventually that the Israelis are not good people, most of them. And Tommy Robinson is saying something like he's hinting something. He was posting about Mertz, and Tommy Robinson says, we will not fight their wars. Their wars. He is so close to say, no, we will not fight for the Jew anymore. He doesn't say that, but whom is he talking about? He talks about globalists or the Muslims that are ruling the West, maybe. But we can translate that for him and his followers. So Dropsite News, they have explained in detail that Efri Epstein, he did not only work for people or companies and organizations in Israel, he did work exactly for the Israeli government. So that's documented now. And when you talk about it on TikTok, you get your video hidden from site there. You can still watch it on TikTok, but you can't find it on TikTok. You need a link to it. And if you wonder, TikTok is censored by Oracle. Oracle is the one responsible for the censorship on TikTok, even though the buying of it has not gone through yet. Oracle's stock, though, it's has been crashing lately. It's still up 10% 1 year back, but that company needs to be isolated. Chile got a new president, a right-winger, and Milei was happy about it. How is Argentina doing? Great, according to an article that is totally not skeptic at all. It's first of all, it's blaming socialism on everything. Then you know it's propaganda. Of course, Argentina had a huge problem with the corruption in the socialist and way too big government that was corrupt, and of course a smaller government is better if it's corrupt. But we're lacking great investments and stuff in Argentina, and the socialism that have hurt other parts of Latin America, it's not the socialism so much as the international Jewish mafia that are attacking them economically. So that's not exactly socialism, but as I said, there have been progress when it comes to getting government out of people's lives. But Argentina has also been doing well thanks to the Shabbat support from the US president and others. So that's a way to get more trade and better economy just by having Jewish friends. And the the Argentinian lira, it has been starting to be stable the last months. So maybe eventually he got that right. But a lot thanks to Jewish networks across the globe, unfortunately. The surgeon Victoria Rose, she's very critical of Israel. So first of all, if you want to sound like a narcissist, start by talking about your feelings that no one cares about. You should know that if you're talking to the public. She starts with, I'm sick of Israel, saying that they have the right to defend themselves, etc., when children are dying. Okay, we agree with her, and we are also feeling sick about it. But what to do about it? I got into character, and I will not say I stand for this theater, but I say that there is a mafia, the unholy narrative, the Satan, we can call it, that is pushing deadly vaccines, climate lies that are killing the economy, and of course usury and Zionism, etc. The only way to stop that is to take out their leadership. Do it wisely, legally, and if you have to do it illegally, make sure that you can change the laws and make it legal when you are done taking out the leadership. So this is not a call to terrorism in any shape or form, and don't do that unwisely, because, well, then you will end up like the shooters in Bundy Beach, for example, even if you try to do the right thing for once. I mean, you do the right thing all the time. I mean, but it's still rare for other people. Something else that is very illegal is beaver bombing. So you might think that why do you want to bomb beavers? They have done nothing wrong, except sometimes they do cause problems. But beaver bombing is when people took beavers into England and released them, and they started to be beavers. And they are some annoyance if you don't know how to handle them. But if you do know, they are really helpful, creating protection against flooding and helping the nature, and they create a lot of fish. So you can, well, fish thanks to the beavers. So they have been returned to England now. Sometimes though it's bad with beaver bombing. They did that in Finland, and the beavers did not get happy about that, and not all beavers. The invading beavers are pretty happy because they came from North America, and they outcompete the Eurasian beavers that used to live there. So in southern Finland they now have foreigners dominating because they are bigger and better, which, well, the Finnish beavers are not too happy about it. The other Finnish beavers that live in the north. There is also a story from Czechoslovakia some years ago, where Czechia were trying to fix this flooding. They needed to build a dam, but it was a protected area. They didn't know how to get it through, but they really needed this dam. And then 8 beavers decided that they are much better than the entire government of Czechia, and they built all the dams that were needed to have flood protection against this, well, for the area. So 8 beavers are way better than the entire government. And don't say this to the government though. I think you can tax the beavers. I'm pretty sure that it's possible, and they are hard workers and apparently really competent when it comes to, for example, building dams. We were shopping today, this morning, and we got scammed. We were buying eggs for 29.95 Swedish kronor and ören. But actually they had 2 signs. One said 29.90 and one said 29.95. So we paid 5 öre too much, and 5 öre, that's half a US cent. So that's awful. And if you wonder what the price of egg is, that was 15 eggs. So that is about 21 US cent per egg that we were paying. Usually they are 50% more expensive here, but this was on sale. So now you know about Swedish prices, and we have a new biggest party outside of the parliament. It's called Örebropartiet. It's the party from Örebro, a city in central Sweden, and they have a very theatric, outspoken leader that is exposing how useless and entitled all these politicians and parties are. And we'll see. He might get into the parliament by just getting local votes, so he doesn't have to have 4% of all the votes in Sweden, as long as he has enough votes locally. So we'll see what happens in 2 years' time when there is election. And with that, have a nice Wednesday. And you have links on my Substack, as I said, about the beavers also. Very interesting.